Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
Today we are going to discuss about what is a data pipeline and how you can design a data pipeline, what all things you need to keep in mind in order to design the data pipeline. So data pipeline is a sequence of steps to transfer the data from point A to point B. This point A is called the producer and the point B is called the consumer. While transferring the data from the point A to point B, there are some transformations that is required in order to get the data in the relevant format. So for that, we do a data cleansing, data governance, data enrichment, and data processing. So basically, the transfer of the data from the source to destination is also called as ETL process, which is the extract, transform, and load. So what is the difference between an ETL process and a data pipeline? So basically, ETL is a subset of the data pipeline, or you can say it as data pipeline is the superset of the ETL process. So depending on what is the source of your data, how we are going to process the data, and what is your destination of the data pipeline can be divided into the batch processing, the real-time processing, and the combination of both batch and real-time processing, which is called the Lambda architecture. In the batch processing, the data comes in batch. The real-time is almost the near real-time processing, and this is the combination of both batch and the real-time. So basically, in today's video, we will be concentrating on the batch pipeline. So let's talk about the three steps that we discussed, that is the extract, transform, and the load. So in the extract part, you need to consider what is the source of the data. So the source of the data could be a DBMS, could be an OLAP or an OLTP system. It could be a SaaS product, could be SFTP, could be an API, or it could be mainframe. So there are many sources that you can get, and then you also have to decide how frequently these sources are getting changed. And depending on that, you will be extracting the data from the source. Then you need to keep in mind what format of the source file is there. If it is coming from SFTP, it could be a CSV file, could be an XML file, could be a normal text file. And on the basis of the big data technologies, it could be a JSON file, Parquet file, or ORC. I hope you would have heard about these file formats. If not, I will be going ahead and creating a video explaining about each of the file formats. So once you know how the source of the data is, how frequently it's getting changed, and what is the format of the file, then you also need to go ahead and create an ingestion strategy. So this ingestion strategy will actually help you determining whether you need an incremental load or a full load, or it could be an upsert. Depending on that, you have to create your ingestion strategy. Then another important thing that you need to keep in mind is the schema of the file. What is the schema that you are getting in the file? It could have multiple columns with different data types. So you have to consider these data types and whether they are nullable or not, right? So these things you also need to keep in mind while extracting the data from the source. Now comes the transform part. The transform part is mostly done in the staging area. So in this staging area, if your data is getting in the batch or on the real time, based on that, you have to get a processing strategy. If it is a batch processing, then you can go ahead and process your data either using Hadoop or Spark. Nowadays, people are preferring Spark because Spark is much more faster, in-memory processing. Then with the real time, you can use either your Spark or Flink or Kafka. Once you have decided the processing strategies, based on that, you have to transform the data based on the business rules. So there will be some filtration, some deletion of the column, some addition of the column. So once the data is there in your staging area, then you have to load the data into your destination. So based on the business, you have to decide what will be your destination. So the destination can be either an S3 location of AWS, could be a blob storage in the Azure, from where you can go ahead and create your own tables and consume the data from the S3 and the blob. Or it could be the direct HDFS location for the persistent data storage. The destination can also be a data warehouse or could be a data lake from where the data is getting consumed by the other teams. So it's not only one team that will be consuming the data, there could be multiple teams who will be consuming your same data. So for that, you can also store the data in the data warehouse, such as Snowflake and the data lake, right? And on the top of that, you will be creating your visualization. There are some more destination that you can use. That could be a NoSQL database, which could be either a Cassandra or it could be a MongoDB. So you can choose as per the business requirement. And once the data is there in the destination, then you can go ahead and create your own visualization using the Power BI tool or could be a Tableau. So these are the major visualization tool that is available in the market that you can go ahead, because if you load the data in NoSQL, then the retrieval of the data is very quick and the ad hoc query is also very quick. So most of the companies, depending on the requirement, also store the data in the NoSQL database. So once you have all the data in your destination, then you can go ahead and create your data flow management. That is your orchestration tool, because orchestration is very much required to automate the process from the start of the process, that is the extraction, till the load of the process, right? So the orchestration could be done with the help of your Airflow or could be with the help of the NiFi. So these are the major two in the market that we have right now. There are many more depending again on the business. You can pick the one that suits your requirement. So the scheduling of the pipeline, creating the dependencies, all things can be done using the orchestration. Let's say you have created your pipeline and you want to go ahead and schedule it only once in a week, right? Let's say on your weekend. So that can be done with the help of the orchestration tool. So today we discussed about what is a data pipeline and what is an ETL step, what is the difference between an ETL and the data pipeline, how to create the data pipeline, and what strategies you have to keep in mind while creating the data pipeline. I will be coming up with some new videos on the data engineering part. Stay tuned and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.